Everybody knows the internet has a dark side. Stick around long enough and you'll stumble across things you can't unsee. But nothing I've found online has ever stayed with me quite like a site I stumbled on years ago. A site called normalpornfornormalpeople.com. The weirdest part? I didn't even go looking for it. One day I just got a strange email from some random address. It said, "Hi there. Found this site is very nice, thought you might like normalpornfornormalpeople.com. Pass it on, for the good of mankind." At first I thought it was just another chain letter, but the name of the site and that bizarre sign-off nagged at me. Out of boredom more than anything else, I checked it out. The page was painfully bare bones, like whoever made it couldn't care less about design. There was a wall of broken English text on the front page, rambling about eradicating abnormal sexuality. I still don't know what it was supposed to mean. Every word on the page was a hyperlink, though. When I clicked one, it led me to a list of strange URLs, each one linking to video files. I should have closed the tab right there, but curiosity won. The first file I downloaded was called peanut.avi. It was 30 minutes of a couple in a kitchen making a peanut butter sandwich for their dog. No sex, no shock content. Just a sick-looking dog slowly eating until the camera finally cut. That was it. I posted about it on an image board I used to frequent, only to find a thread already full of people trading links from the site. That's where I saw the other videos. Some were harmless but unsettling, like Jimbo.avi, where an overweight mime does his act for a few minutes before the feed cuts and he's shown crying silently. Or Diana.avi, where a young woman plays the violin in her living room, unaware of the man in a chicken mask visible in the mirror behind her. Then there were darker ones. Stumps.avi showed a legless man forced to dance on a DDR pad until he collapsed, begging for rest while someone off-camera screamed at him to continue. Another called tongue-tied.avi began with an old woman kissing a mannequin, only to cut suddenly to a circle of mannequins surrounding the camera in near darkness. No explanation, no sound. But the one no one forgets, the one that made the entire thread explode, was useless.avi. It showed a blonde woman tied to a mattress, struggling and muffled with tape over her mouth. 7 minutes in, a man in a black suit opened the door and let in something that looked like a chimpanzee, shaved bare and painted red. It mauled her. The attack went on until she stopped moving. The video ended with the animal eating. The board was flooded with people discussing what they had just seen. When I checked back the next day, the thread was gone. Deleted. I tried starting another one, but the mods banned me instantly. A few days later, the site itself disappeared. I emailed the address that sent me the link. No response. Tried to post about it elsewhere, banned again and again. It's like no one wanted the site's existence acknowledged. Today, all that's left are scattered screenshots and a handful of videos re-uploaded to torrent sites before they were scrubbed. But every time someone puts useless.avi online, it doesn't stay up for long, like the internet itself is trying to bury it. And maybe it should be. Living downtown meant solitary night walks became my ritual. For 4 years, I wandered empty streets while my roommate slept, never encountering anything more threatening than polite drug dealers. That changed one Wednesday between 1 and 2 a.m. Near a police-patrolled park, I turned down a side street and froze. At the far end, a tall silhouette danced toward me, a bizarre waltz punctuated by forward strides. Assuming he was drunk, I moved closer to the road to let him pass. As he approached, his grace became unsettling. Lanky and dressed in an old suit, he moved with fluid precision. Then I saw his face, eyes wide and wild, staring skyward, mouth stretched in an impossibly wide smile that looked carved rather than natural. Unnerved, I crossed the street. When I glanced back, my blood chilled. He'd stopped mid-dance, one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me, but still gazing upward, that horrible smile unchanged. I kept walking, watching him over my shoulder. He remained motionless until I'd gained half a block. Then I briefly looked ahead to check my path. When I turned back seconds later, he'd vanished. Relief flooded through me until I spotted him again, now crouched on my side of the street, definitely facing my direction. In those 10 seconds, he'd moved with impossible speed. Paralyzed, I watched as he began approaching again, taking exaggerated tiptoe steps like a cartoon character sneaking, but moving frighteningly fast. He stopped a car length away, maintaining that skyward stare and grotesque smile. "What?" I whimpered, my intended commanding, "What do you want?" emerging as terrified gibberish. He heard my fear but didn't react, just smiled at the sky. Then, slowly, he turned and dance-walked away. I watched until he was nearly invisible in the distance. Then horror struck again. His distant shape was growing larger. He wasn't dancing now. He was running straight toward me. I bolted, racing to a better lit street with traffic. Behind me, nothing. The rest of my walk home, I constantly checked over my shoulder, expecting that insane smile. But he'd vanished. That encounter ended my night walks forever. His face haunts me still, not drunk or high, but completely, utterly insane. Pure madness is terrifying to witness. In the shadow-draped streets of Key West during the 1890s, the Otto family occupied a grand Victorian mansion that would become legendary for all the wrong reasons. Thomas Otto ruled his household with an iron fist, particularly harsh toward the servants who maintained their opulent home. Among these servants was a woman from Haiti, tasked with caring for young Robert Otto. The family's cruelty knew no bounds, and when Mrs. Otto discovered the woman performing what she believed to be dark rituals in their garden, she dismissed her immediately. But the servant's parting gift would haunt the Otto lineage forever. A 3-foot doll with button eyes, real hair, and a straw-filled body that bore an unsettling resemblance to the boy himself. Young Robert embraced his new companion with disturbing intensity. He christened the doll Robert and began insisting others call him by his middle name, Gene. The doll accompanied him everywhere, to meals, shopping excursions, and even to bed each night. Soon, servants reported hearing 2 distinct voices emanating from Gene's playroom, the child's innocent chatter answered by something deeper, more sinister. The household descended into chaos. Objects flew across rooms without explanation. Toys appeared mutilated, and eerie giggling echoed through the halls. When confronted, Gene always offered the same defense. Robert did it. His parents often found him cowering in corners while the doll sat motionless, seeming to watch with those lifeless button eyes. Servants fled in terror, and finally the family banished Robert to the attic, where he remained for decades. When Gene inherited the mansion as an adult, he retrieved his childhood companion despite his wife's objections. The doll resumed its reign of terror, and Mrs. Otto's mental health deteriorated rapidly until her mysterious death. Gene followed soon after. The mansion changed hands, but Robert's malevolence persisted. New owners reported the doll moving throughout the house, and one family fled after discovering Robert at their bedside one night, clutching a kitchen knife and giggling softly. Today, Robert resides in the East Martello Museum, confined behind glass but far from harmless. Visitors claim he moves when no one watches, his painted smile twisting into a scowl. Legend warns that photographing him without permission invites his curse, a supernatural vengeance that has allegedly befallen countless skeptics who dared mock the demonic doll that refuses to rest.